What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So the other day I did some fall fragrances that I'm really excited to wear, even though, look, with my weather, it's going to be a little bit. It's going to be a little bit. It's really hot. We're in the middle of August. But I'm just kind of itching to wear some of my more fall-friendly fragrances. And somebody asked me, can you please do the clone version of this? So there actually is some that I'd be interested and actually quite looking forward to wearing, because they're just not good for the high heat. So I definitely have some in mind. So I gathered the 10 that deserve to be in this video. So these are 10 clone fragrances I'm excited to wear this fall. Stay tuned. Now, the last time I wore this first one was a little bit before fall even started. I actually wore it for my trip to Louisiana for my fantasy draft last year, which was last week of August. So it was still quite hot, but I was in the car for, 6 hours because it's a lot of driving. But if you want a really good, long-lasting, kind of spot-on clone of Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce, you might want to check out Ferocity from Alexandria Fragrances. That's right. This one is quite accurate. And I mean, not like Percival is basically like it. Mont Blanc Legend is basically like it. This is like it. This is fierce. This is higher oil concentration fierce, is how I've always viewed this one. I get phenomenal longevity. It is very easy to go nose blind to for anybody that in the past, because when I've spoken about it in the past, they're like, oh man, it's weak. It's not a beast for me. It's gone in like 2 hours. So what is fierce, and anything typically that smells really close to fierce, what is it loaded with? And if you said synthetic aroma chemicals, you would be right. And what do heavily synthetic aroma chemical based fragrances typically do to your olfactive system? Does it wear it out? Are you going to go nose blind? Because that's what the hell happens to me. I go nose blind to this one because it's immensely powerful. People will smell you guys. We're talking, for me, Percival type of performance. Now, even though we go nose blind to that one, everybody can agree that's a monster, right? And we all go nose blind to that one. So same case here. It's an absolute monster of a fragrance. Again, this is more carbon copy, whereas Percival's kind of its own thing, but still very much like Fierce, whereas this is absolutely pretty much a direct copy. I can't wait to wear it again because it's just too much for right now in the heat. I learned that last year. It's Ferocity from Alexandria Fragrances. One of my favorite releases that Armaf has put out in a long time. It's not exactly one-to-one with Absolute Aventus, but it's pretty close. Club de Nuit, Precieux, Precious, however you would like to call it. Tomato. It smells great, and I can't wait to wear it. It's just a little too much. Little too much for the heat. Citrus, fruits, spices, ginger, a lot of ginger here. Nice woody tone. It's a very woody, spicy, dominant fragrance. More so than I find, like especially the woody facet is a bit stronger here than what I get in actual Absolute Aventus. They really did a great job here. I'm very curious to see where they're going to go with the line, because as you can see, it's got Roman numeral #1. So this is the start of a line of fragrances for them. 55 ml, really nice, sleek bottles. And the quality is a little bit higher than what you typically get from Armaf, because the Club de Nuit fragrances are typically wildly synthetic, cheap smelling, but they smell really good out in the air. Whereas this doesn't come across as really cheap smelling. Doesn't smell on Creed's level, but it also smells a few cuts above what they typically put out. So in performance is great on this one. I can't wait to get around to wearing it because, again, it's just too warm for this profile right now. But I'm excited to wear it this fall. Club de Nuit Precieux. Now, people love Tuxedo. I get it. It's a great fragrance. And this particular, well, it's a new kind of inspired fragrance with a twist, is how I look at it, more so than a clone, because Tuxedo is not this cedarwood dominant. But Raket Adorn from Paris Corner. This is way too heavy for this high heat, super humidity that I'm dealing with, because it's felt like in the 100+ degree Fahrenheit range every day for a while now. It's way too hot for stuff like this. My, does it smell so good, though. That benzoin, patchouli, ambery, peppered, vanillic smell with a bunch of woods. Heavy, I believe it's cedar wood. The notes are on the back. Let me look real quick. So it says woody in the base note, cedar in the heart. So there you go. Yeah, because it's got this sharpness to it, but it's a lot of it. It's a lot of it. This is so, so good. I got to say, again, not one-to-one. I would not call this a carbon copy of Tuxedo, but it definitely smells like Tuxedo and. See what I'm saying? Like Tuxedo and a heavy cedarwood dominant note. Really, really good. I got to say, Paris Corner impressed me with this one. And I can't wait to throw it in rotation because I actually don't have Tuxedo. And of the things I do have that smell like Tuxedo, this is my favorite. It's Rifaaqat Adorn from Paris Corner. Now, I'm a big fan of Invictus Victory Elixir. And if maybe you're not too much of a fan of the heavy patchouli earthiness in that fragrance and you kind of wish it was toned back, then you might want to check out Khadlaj Epoque Artistique. It's a little too heavy of a vanilla fragrance for the high heat, but when the fall rolls around, this is one of Khadlaj's best fragrances I've tried. The quality here is pretty good. It does smell like a less earthy Invictus Victory Elixir. The vanilla is beautiful here. Light incense. Creaminess without being, it doesn't have that dry powdery type of vanilla. Performance is actually really good. This is one of those vanillas I'm eager to check out. Don't get me wrong, I'm aware Invictus Victory Elixir too, but I'm not always in the mood for heavy patchouli. Sometimes I want a little bit cleaner of a vanilla. That's more of a dirty vanilla because it's got a nice earthy tone, whereas this is a cleaner vanilla overall, but a similar profile. I would call this, again, not a direct clone, but more inspired by Invictus Victory Elixir. And that's Khadlaj Epoque Artistique. You'll notice there's a lot of twists, more so than direct clones, and that's because I'm not always one for the carbon copies. There's a few in here that are carbon copies, or trying to be anyways, but I like the twists. That's one of the reasons I like Dumont so damn much. Selario Epic, very fruity, heavy angel share. Still fiery, hot cinnamon spice, still nice and boozy, ambery benzoin smell. But the fruity notes in here are intensified. It's got a strong, sweet, fruity accord at the top. Way more so than actual angel share, and that's why I like this one. Again, has become my favorite twist on angel share. Now, they do have one that's like fresh angel share from the Borouj line. I featured something else from the Borouj line here that we'll talk about last, because it is the fragrance out of all of these. I did save the one I'm most excited to wear for last. None of this is ranked except for what's actually at the #1 spot. But this is a monster performer too. Quality's really good. Dumont continues to impress me. They put out really good stuff. If you want stuff that's not direct clone carbon copies all the time, they have a few that you'd swear are carbon copies, but majority of their stuff that'll remind you of fragrances have their own twist and their own added element to the personality of the profile. And that's the kind of stuff I like. And that's why I like this. I'm eager to wear Selario Epic. And speaking of synthetic Armaf fragrances, Club de Nuit Intense Man Limited Edition Parfum, my favorite Armaf fragrance, has been for it ever since I got it a few years ago. It's just a little too heavy for summer, that dark smoky magic, nice and fruity. The lemon's not as sharp as in the Eau de Toilette. I think it's so much better than the Eau de Toilette. I think it's better than the Parfum Pure Perfume. Pure Perfume Parfum, however, it's whatever. That one's got like a damp patchouli, dirty lemon kind of smell. That one's really good too, but this is superior. They've yet to put out anything I prefer over this. This is my favorite affordable Aventus type fragrance because it does smell like Aventus, but again, it's got added elements to give a deeper dimension to the personality, like the lemon, for example. There's no lemon in Aventus, but there's a strong lemon in this opening. And there's some spices added here as well. Again, this is like 80%, 85% Aventus. I prefer that. I like the little twist. I can't wait to wear this one again. I love wearing this one. It's a beautiful fragrance. I always encourage you guys to check this one out. Anytime we have this type of topic, I'm eager to wear it this fall. Armaf's Club de Nuit Intense Man Limited Edition Parfum. Now, super sweet, gourmand, candy-like fragrances, they don't really do too well in super high heat humidity. But this was some of Paris Corner's best work, and I've never smelled the original, and I honestly don't care to. I did recently get in Lattafa's version of this. I'm going to be doing a side-by-side, but until further notice, Khair Pistachio from Paris Corner is my favorite Khair Yum Pistachio Gelato type. I don't even know how accurate it is to what it's cloning. I just know that it's a beautiful cotton candy, whipped cream, warm rum, minty, floral, gelato, minty ice cream, pistachio. Like, there's so many facets, elements, and layers to this fragrance, even for a clone. It's deep. It's a deep fragrance. It changes a lot. It's such a fun fragrance. It really is. Any of you with a sweet tooth, I'm not really a big gourmand guy, but I love the way this smells. And it's not even necessarily something I want to just throw 5 sprays of on. Sometimes I like to just throw a spray or 2 in my arm and just go to sniffing. Because it's so enjoyable. It puts a smile on my face. Any of you that have tried it, I'm pretty sure that's the case with you. It probably puts a smile on your face because it's a very fun fragrance. Great for a casual evening out in the not so hot weather where you're going to be sweating outdoors dealing with mosquitoes if you're in the South. But when we get some fall weather, I'm eager to wear Khair Pistachio. Now, I included this one because I've never spent time with it. Outside of a first impression, this is the one of the original 3 from Fomo Parfums that I did not get. Yes, they have the newest one out. No, I don't have it yet. Yes, I will get it eventually because I know somebody's going to ask. But Illusion d'un Soir, the more complex version of Grand Soir, basically. I know it does not have the same level of quality as the Maison France Kirkjohn fragrance, and it's more of a twist because there's so many more notes to this. It does have more layers to it. It's not as good. I mean, Grand Soir is simple and effective is an understatement. It's intoxicating. It's one of the greatest amber vanillas of all time, but this has a similar profile with some woody elements, some spices. Like I haven't spent time with it, and I really need to. And this fall, I'm looking forward to because it's just something that I just forgot and shelved because I've always got new fragrances coming in, and it's a shame on me kind of thing. So I'm definitely looking to get this in the rotation this year and really give it a go and see what my full thoughts end up being on this one because I never got around to it, and fall is an ideal situation for it. Fomo Parfums, Illusion d'un Soir. This is very accurate to Arabian's Tonka. I do have a decant, and I know there's other clones out there, but once you find a good one, do you really need multiple? I mean, sometimes I get multiple just to try a new twist, but Noir Darbe smells just like it. Sugary, sweet oud, a little fruity, slight earthy tone. This is another sweet tooth kind of fragrance. The literal, like, sugary notes. It's so sweet. And it's not going to be for everybody. The oud's not real funky, but there's so much sweetness to balance that slight, not really animalic, but funky-ish type of oud that they use in here. Not the most natural smell in the world. It is more on the synthetic side, but it does smell really good. And it's a monster performer. My God, 2 sprays goes a long way with this. When you start doing 4 or 5 sprays, you might choke yourself out. At least that's been my experience. This stuff's crazy strong on me. Definitely looking forward to spending some more time with it. Maybe a little bit better in the winter, but, you know, certain fall evenings, this will definitely work. Looking forward to wearing Noir Darbe from Paris Corner. And the one I saved for last on purpose, the quality here is superior to all of them. The profile speaks to me more than all of them. The performance is phenomenal. If you like a good Chypre, you'll like Dumont's Borouj Spiritus. So, man, if you've never smelled this, it's in the realm of a Hachivat, but I get more spice out of the oak moss here. It's very green, earthy. You do get a little bit of smokiness. It's got this dry, earthy green feel, even a little woodsy from the oak moss. It's very oak moss dominant. Like I said, a Chypre's Chypre, you know? So good. We can have a little light, little just spritz on the hand. You get all that fruitiness, the citrus. Again, very similar to Hawass, but there's subtle differences early, but not big time. Like immediately when you spray it, it's like, ooh, definitely smells like Hachivat. Did I say Hawass the first time? I meant Hachivat. It just dawned on me that I might have said Hawass. I sure did not mean that. My apologies. But Hachivat, Nishane Hachivat. You get all that fruitiness and the citrus and the apple. A lot of the apple here. And then as it dries, it becomes all about the oak moss, just like Hachivat. But again, I find it to be a bit spicier and more woodsy and even a little greener. Whereas I get a lot of the dry, smoky facets of the oak moss with actual Hachivat. Whereas here, it comes down to if I had to pick one accord, I find it more dominant in its spice. It's more of a green, dry spice. Man, hard not to like, though. I'm already getting a heavy hit of it. Quality's really good. Super masculine, everyday wear, especially in a professional setting. So good. This is still my favorite from Dumont. I can't wait to wear Borouj Spiritus. Well, that's the 10 that I have for you today. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. So I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. What are you looking forward to wearing this fall as far as clones in your collection? As you can tell by this, it's more about twists and inspired by than direct carbon copies. I like subtle changes. Sometimes it's an improvement over the original to my taste, because it comes down to taste. Maybe not everybody will agree, but there's only, if I had to call what's carbon copy in here, really just one. But then Precieux is close to being a carbon copy. It's still got its differences, but Ferocity is really the only one that I would deem even like a carbon copy, and Noir Darbe. So maybe two that I would actually call straight up clones, with the rest being kind of with twists, inspired with twists, which is what I gravitate to. I prefer the twist, especially when I have originals. If I'm going to gravitate to stuff like this, they have to offer something a little different from the original, because I'm just wear the original. The original's got the magic, you know what I mean? So thank you guys once again for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Y'all have a good one.